Hey guys, welcome back to Two Countries, One Marriage, Our Story, His Glory.
Yeah.
We're starting a two-part series where we're going to explain Brazil to America, and we're going to go over the K1 visa, how we got the green card. But in this episode, we're going to discuss kind of how we met each other and our relationship. And we want you guys to feel comfortable with hearing the information from us so that you feel like you can trust us on the information to come after. So without further ado, Jess, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about and say hello to the viewers.
So we're gonna talking about our history, our story, how we meet each other, the process K1, each one is the visa K1 that I came here. We're gonna talking about the green card and some advice, some funny histories, and I think that's it.
So, my name's Cody. This is Jessica, my beautiful wife.
Oh.
We got married in October of 2025, and now we share one life together, and we now have the same last name, Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton.
Yeah,
How
so
about that?
exciting.
It's not five names anymore, guys. She had
Yes.
five names to complete everything.
Yes, before when I was single, my name it was Jessica Ramos dos Santos de Jesus.
And now, Jessica Hamilton. That's
Hamilton.
it.
Just that.
All right. So before there was the paperwork, there was the relationship, and let's go over how that started. Let's let everybody learn about who we are and how we got here. So
Yeah.
tell us, what did you first think about me, and how did you first meet me?
Okay. So how I meet Cody, I think is the big question that everybody asking me. First of all, I was in New Year in Rio de Janeiro with my friends from my church in Brazil, and we were there for 5 days. And one of my friends, Gabriel, he was there, and he say, "Oh, I have some friends. They are here, and they meet each other in debut here in USA." And he say, "I think it's gonna be nice opportunity for we see them, have fun with them." And we say, "Okay, let's go do that." And when I arrived there, we are have lunch together. We are have fun. And I was joking. It's like Fernando and Derek, because they were married.
Hmm.
Married. I say, Fernando and Derek, you could pray for us because we are six people, single, and you are the only one married here. So you could pray for us. And they say, okay, we can do that. And I remember Fernanda, she looked at me and say, Jessica, I think I have some friends for invite you. He's Christian. He wanna build the family. She says so many things, so nice things about Cody, and she say, and he's gringo. And I remember when she told me that, and I say, oh, that's nice. No, about gringo, but all your history, your personality. And she asked me, can I pass your contact for him? And I say, yes, you can do that. And
Tell them what I said. The first text I ever sent you.
it was very nice because he sent me Portuguese and he say, I'm gonna translation, but hey Jessica, how are you? How is going there in Rio de Janeiro with your friends for New Year? And he say, from the gringo, Cody. And after that, we start have a lot of conversation like 24/7 every day. We're talking in FaceTime. So summary, that's how we meet each other, from his friends Fernando and Derek, and that's it. Guys, just so you know, that's my second language. I'm Brazilian. If I say something wrong, Cody's gonna correct me, or he's gonna give the summary with his word because he's American and he knows English so much better than me.
I need you guys to show her all the love because it took a lot for her to say yes to doing a podcast in English, guys.
Yes.
And for anybody else, we're going to have subtitles in Portuguese, but hope you guys can understand.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the first conversation was like? We told them what we, the text that I sent out, but when I texted you, what did you really think?
I was so excited. I was with my friends and I say, guys, he sent me a message. And everybody, oh my gosh, Jess is gonna marry, Jess is gonna marry. We're so excited. We're so like animated.
Yeah, animated.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So I was I was excited. It's like, oh, he sent me a message. Let's go talk. It's like I was single and I was praying for God about some guy,
Hmm.
specifically guys, like someone who loves God more than loves me, someone who loves the church like Jesus loved the church. And for me, it was like, oh my gosh, he's Christian. He's really Christian. He served the church. He know the word. He know how is the relationship with God. So I was excited about everything. And
Well,
about you, it's like, how was it for you?
so I would say, when my friends were telling me about her, I was really interested. They sent your photo to me, and I was like, wow, she's really beautiful. And to preface this, I too, when I was in Brazil, been to Brazil several times, I had told the same friends, Derek and Fernanda, that it was their job to find me a wife, to find me somebody suitable to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
And
I
they,
remember you make jokes like, if you give me a wife, I
oh
give
yeah,
you a green card.
I did. I told them, I was like, you guys do that, I'll do that for you. And sure enough, I guess I owe everybody a green card now. How about
Yeah.
that? I was serious when I told them, but I didn't really think it was necessarily going to happen exactly like the joke. I mean, at the time it was a joke, but it turned out to be real.
Yeah.
But they sent me the information about her. They sent me a photo, and I was like, okay, let me see where this could possibly be going. And so I sent my text with my American charm. You all know how it is from the Gringo, and now that is forever my nickname in Brazil, the Gringo.
Yeah.
Um, meeting online is not necessarily super easy, but that's how we met. We started talking online for
Yeah.
several months, and that was kind of hard to figure out this process because you lose that physical aspect of being together in
Mhm.
person, and we maintained a pretty strong relationship with a total of five visits for like a week long each. To put that in perspective,
So, Cody, I have a question for you. When did you realize this was more than just talking when we are talking with each other?
I'll be honest. As soon as we started talking, probably past the first day, because we started talking uh, New Year's.
Yeah.
So New Year's Eve we started talking. Like I think for me it was 10 p.m. and for you it was almost midnight.
Yeah.
So really, if you think about it, we've been talking for an extra year. But as soon as we started talking, it felt different to me because I try to limit myself on how much I put myself out there in the dating world. And I already knew once we kind of started having that conversation that I was serious. We're not as young as we used to be. Not that
Yeah.
26 is old, but I wanted something serious. And they told me the same thing. They said she's a Christian. They said she is, not just somebody who shows up to church every now and then. Is somebody serious, reading the Word, is a Christian, is devoted to life. And when I heard you're a lawyer, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, guys. A lawyer. Y'all know I love the criminal justice and anything related to that.
Yeah.
But I felt we were having honest conversations with each other. Serious questions were being asked that you normally wouldn't talk about maybe until 4 to 5 months in the relationship.
Yeah.
But I think you and I knew at the beginning we
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of time to
I,
figure
I
this out.
remember in the beginning, we have so serious conversations like about church, about family. And I think we are, it's like have connection with each other about our interests. So probably for me too, it was exactly in this moment when we have serious and harder conversation in the beginning.
I would say this. I would say I agree. Family and being a strong Christian. I mean, just those two things together. Today, it's kind of hard to find somebody who's really focused on those two
Yeah.
things, and in that order of being a Christian and family. We look at how people should be viewed biblically, and the standards for other relationships, they're outside of the biblical confinements. And so, as soon as they told me that, I was definitely interested. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. In the beginning, I don't know if I knew for sure like it was going to be, but I felt like the Lord was saying, "Hey, we're going to give this a look at." And Well, great choice that was.
Yeah.
What do you think made you keep believing in our relationship being so far away physically, long distance? Because we were apart technically 10 months until you came to the U.S.
Yeah.
and we were what 5 times I visited to Brazil, and they were each for a week long.
Yeah. I think he, especially when you were there in first time in Brazil for meet me, uh, I think it was like, oh, we are serious about that. And then always all the conversation that we had, all the time that you're making so sacrifice to be in Brazil, to be with me, with my family, my friends. I think all things together make feel like this is really relationship, and that's what I want for me, for our life.
I will say she's talking about the sacrifices I made. My job was really good to me, and when you work in government, it's kind of a tough deal to get time off.
Yeah,
But they blessed me with being super understanding of the situation of needing to go to Brazil. And just to preface that, the reason I had to go so many times was because her tourist visa was denied, which was an avenue that we tried going through,
yeah,
which we'll go into that into another video. But you know, being able to have those opportunities to spend that time, it was a real blessing because that's what helped keep our relationships as strong as it could be. Most people, you want to have them walking each day for months. We didn't have
yeah,
that option, so our our journey is going to be looking totally different from what I would say the average relationship is. And well, who wants to be average anymore with all the things going on?
yeah. That's true.
So, how often did we talk?
Every
All
day,
all the time, right?
all the time,
24/7 on the
24/7,
text.
literally, all the
And,
time.
and I know you love texting, right? It's your favorite thing.
Guys, sometimes it's hard being on cell phone 24/7, and I was a little lazy. God forgive me. I was a little lazy for that because it's hard. We can't see each other in person, so we just have the cell phone. Thank God for that, for all the tech knowledge.
Yeah, with that, what would you say the hardest part of long distance relationship? Would you say it was culture or language?
The language.
The language, right?
Yeah,
Because I think that's the same thing. Is in texting, it can kind of seem like you're two different people,
yeah,
or it can get lost in tone. And what we realized is, I guess it's dating advice also, is that when we're having a discussion, it's a serious discussion. Like,
yeah,
it's just better to have it on the phone,
yeah,
because even with our broken dialect, while we're both learning each other's language, it's still better to hear kind of where the other person's coming from. And when you're texting all the time, it gets tough. So I would agree. I would say that's the hardest part about
yes,
our long distance.
yes,
And some people, their long distance is 2 hours away, but we were countries apart. So
yes. I don't think the culture it was the harder part because you know a lot about Brazilian culture, and this has helped us a lot.
that's true.
So I'm gonna say language it was the biggest problem,
Hmm.
hardest.
Yeah, I definitely think it helped having been to
Guys,
Brazil.
our first call it was so funny, right? It's like I my English wasn't like that. So I remember you called me on FaceTime. You were in your car, and we are like, "Hello, how are you?" And we are shy for talking to each other. My English wasn't enough. I didn't have a lot of vocabulary, so it was kind of funny.
I definitely remember our first conversation. It was kind of expected. Even I was shy to speak. I was in my car on our first FaceTime call, and she
Yeah.
was like, "Hello, I'm Jessica," and that was kind of it. I mean, we tried to talk a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was awkward. But hey, we worked through it, didn't we?
Yes.
We don't have any issues talking now. What do you think your friends and family thought about me and about just our relationship? What they say?
They're serious about us. There's like, Jazz, your time here in Brazil is over almost. You're gonna be there in USA.
The
Family, they are like, Jazz is gonna move. My mom, she's serious about that. And she remembered things that I told her when I was young. So they seems like God already talked to my mom for prepare her about me coming to USA. They're very excited. It's like gringo, gringo. All the time when Cody he was in Brazil, everybody treated the gringo so good.
I was treated very well, guys. I'll have
Yeah.
you know.
So my family, I think they are being serious about you when they meet you in person. They say, my mom say, it's like he's a good guy. My dad too, and we can see you have good heart. And I think this is God give peace in the heart in my family.
Uh,
So it's kind of that.
I think it's just it's very different having that idea that your parents had, because if you look at a lot of other relationships, usually cross cultural, cross country, language barrier, all of those things makes it difficult, and it's an uphill battle going up the hill. But I think the Lord really did break those barriers for us, not only with your parents, but with mine too, because my family, it was very supportive of what we were looking at, doing, making this live. From the American aspect, it seems crazy to a lot of people. I had
Yeah.
my close friends were very supportive, but I had other people telling me, how crazy it is. I was going to get catfished, to be real careful when you go over there. And their concerns were, I think, valid. But I think when you look at what the possibilities were, there was only one outcome of this being successful, and that was our families being supportive in this way, and definitely played a big part in our story. What do you think helped us trust each other during this process? Because I mean, for a couple of months, we hadn't even met each other in person, and then after that, we'd have 3 or 4 months in between. What do you think really helped us trust each other?
Jesus. I don't have another answer than him. It's like all the peace that he give in our heart, and the family is like we have good family, good friends, the church. I think it all together make me trust in the process in our relationship, and that's it for me.
That's a good answer. I mean, that's the answer. There were several moments where I think we were looking at things like, how is this going to work? How do we move forward from here? And, without the Lord walking us through it, we would have called it quits.
Yeah.
And, I look at other people's situations too at the same time. I wouldn't even be, upset with them if they called it quits. I mean, that's what dating is for. There's no commitment until you're married. But
Yeah.
we certainly couldn't have done it by ourselves. That's why we talk about, it's our story, but it's His glory, and glory be to God to have gotten us this far.
Yeah.
But eventually, phone calls were not enough. As we talked about, I had at least 5 visits to Brazil, and each one there was kind of a different milestone in our life. The first one was go meet the family, meet Jess, and each time after that, each trip we had kind of felt closer and closer to making the decision of our relationship. So I would say the thing that surprised me most about Brazil was a little different because I'd already been to Brazil, and
Yeah.
so I'm thinking mostly the times that I was with you.
I was so excited for show you some food.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, coxinha with catupiry. And he's like, oh, I love that. I eat this before. I was like, you no.
There's a lot of good things about having been to Brazil, but my wife is always sad when there's not something new she can show me, especially
Yeah.
about her own country.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll be in Brazil and I'll be telling her something, and I'll be educating her on something about Brazil. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So, what most surprised you in Brazil?
That's a good question. I would say probably the people.
Yeah.
I mean, you could give that answer about any country, and I think a lot of places you go, maybe the touristy places, it's all that
Hmm.
you know anybody who travels to Brazil is going to know about. São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro. But I think I went to the smaller cities. I went to what I consider to be the real Brazil, not just what you see on TV. And I did a little bit of mission work over in some of the small cities. Actually, the city that you were originally born in, right?
Yeah.
Osasco.
Yeah.
So I think the people overall in Brazil are very warm and welcoming. And, again, you can't always get that in the touristy places. I have really good friends that I can call up right now and be like, "Hey, I need a place to stay," and like that day they'll come pick me up. You can't get that in every country, and it's not Brazil. It's not the only country that I've been to, so I think I can safely say that you know people in Brazil are very hospitable. They're very they're very animated too,
Yes.
which makes the relationship a lot more fun for some people. But I would say the people,
Okay. And about food?
food. Oh, out of the countries I've been to, Brazil has the best food. I will for sure say that, no doubt. I love the food here that I eat, comfort food for me in the USA, but it's always a treat. Whenever I go back to Brazil, I have the food that I want. I love coxinhas. I love espuccinos. Um, I love getting to have a coconut on the beach, a fresh coconut.
Yeah.
There's,
Feijoada.
I like feijoada. It's not my
It's not your
favorite though.
favorite, yeah.
It's something that we can kind of make here. I
Yeah.
really like to eat food that's
Mandioca frita.
I do love that. So that's fried yuca, which is like a potato in the potato family. It's very good. I like it better than French fries, I think.
Yeah.
But I love that food. There's no doubt about Brazil food being close to my heart. But what I won't eat is chicken
Chicken.
heart and chicken feet. I don't do that. Okay, that's really Brazilian. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't do that. So Brazil made the relationship feel real, but it led to the question of what are we going to do for the immigration process? Everybody wants to immigrate to the USA, which makes the options a lot. I don't want to say a lot harder, but you have to choose what's best for you. And we ended up talking to somebody who helped us out. And if you guys want her information, I think she would be a great option to help fill out any of the paperwork that you have to walk you through the process. We definitely couldn't have done it without her. I don't want to put her name up or blast her name on social media, but you guys feel free to reach out to us and we can give you that because she helped us all the way through the K1 and through the green card process. But
Yeah.
we chose the K1 instead of staying in Brazil and getting married for a real big reason of had we chosen anything that was not the K1, the fiance visa, we would have had to have stayed in Brazil. I would have had to have quit my job, and we may have waited 2 years for this process to be done. The way the K1 visa works is it gives you 90 days once you step foot in the USA to get married, and the nice thing about that is you have time to kind of help plan the wedding, right? Didn't you feel a lot better being in person in the US, planning some of these details after meeting my family and being introduced to the US?
Um, yes.
Right? It was a lot more
Yes.
comfortable
Yes. Yes.
than somebody who had to be outside the US
Yeah.
making those plans because that was the alternative. And so we did choose the K1 for that reason. And I think that helped because we got to have some quality time together and it wasn't just, okay, arrive, then get married. Some people wait until the third month, closer to the 90 days. I think that's totally fine. But I think we felt we were ready and we didn't want to keep waiting anymore. So as far as the K1 visa goes, what was the timeline for that? We had, I think it was about 8 months for the first part with USCIS to get approved.
Yeah.
And it was just waiting, guys. We turned in all our evidence and it was just waiting. And then another month and a half until we were able to actually get Jess scheduled in for the interview. And that interview was to approve the K1 so then she could then fly to the US and that would be her first time stepping foot on U.S. soil. So, what would you say scared you most about the idea of leaving Brazil?
I think God gave me peace in my heart. Looks repetitive, but without the peace, I could be here, marry you, and do all these things. I just wanna say it's like wasn't too easy choose the K1 visa because our plans and like you say, unfortunately or fortunately, my visa it was declined. And I remember when I was there and I had declined visa, tourist visa, because our plan it was like perfect. I work from home. I can working there in USA. I can meet his family, pass a lot of time with him. Perfect, right? but it was declined, and I was so mad. I was so sad because
Mad and sad, all of the above.
our expectation which was done, and I was like, and now what's gonna happen? You have to be here in Brazil a lot of time, and how I'm gonna meet your family, a lot
Mhm.
of things. And then after that, we pray even more about God. What is your plan? Give us some answer.
The day that the tourist visa was denied, it was a pretty rough day for both of us. I was emotional, but I think you took it a lot harder than I did,
Yeah,
just for the fact of your expectations. I think were really high. I
yeah,
think I know how the government works. I also kind of think logically on like what are the possibilities of it not working, and they denied the tourist visa basically because we were already in a relationship, and so they didn't think she would return back home.
yeah,
I understood it, but I definitely didn't like the decision. And at the time, it's like I'm mad, I'm sad, she's sad. But now looking back on it, and kind of the same thing I told you was that this might not be what the Lord wants; it's what we want. But everything is in His timing, and He's never late on anything that He's ever done. And we now see that perhaps it was a good thing that it was denied.
yeah,
I mean, I want for all of your guys' visas to be approved, but ours, I think, really helped us in our relationship on how to grow together, right?
yeah. Especially for choose K1 visa.
It did. It made us stronger, and that led us to choosing the K1, because otherwise, we may have had a different avenue, or maybe we would have been having a lot of time together prematurely before we were able to learn more about each other.
Yeah,
Which I think for most people, it would be nice if your visa was approved the first time, the tourist visa, but we can only talk about our situation.
yeah.
So there were those two options, the K1, and I'm sorry I forget the name, but it would just be I think the marriage visa. Those two options, and we felt
CR1.
CR1.
Yeah.
That might be it. What do you think was confusing or most stressful about the process?
Wait.
Waiting.
Yes, waiting is so hard, right? It's like a bread. You need time. He need time for be ready. And for me, it was like that. It was hard because I was in Brazil. He was here. We are following our life,
Mhm.
but I was like, when they're gonna prove us? When is gonna happen? When is gonna be the interview? You're more tranquil
I was very
than
tranquil.
me.
We'll talk about that in part two. We'll talk about how the interview went, the approval, more specifically into the details of leaving Brazil and arriving here in the US and getting the green card. But we hope you come back for part two. That's what we have for it today. And remember to tell everybody two countries, one marriage, our story, His glory. And
Yes.
until next time, we'll see you.
See ya.